All right, I'm here today to talk to you about imprints. We leave a record of all that we think or do wherever we go. I call this an imprint, and it has a profound influence on the space, either for the good or for the bad. For the good, I look at this, it's one of the gauges I use when I look at sacred sites to understand, is it helping or hurting it? It begins with that imprint. Positive, loving thoughts enhance, negative, hurt. But imprints are the first thing. Now, Carl Jung's seminal concept of the collective unconscious that is populated by archetypes postulates that the collective unconscious is buried in the earth. And the archetypes are patterns of behavior, the mother, the father, the trickster. These patterns of behavior get us to think or act in that sort of manner. And so when we go someplace, we're walking through imprints, and they can encourage more of the same. For example, in the city of Syracuse, in my neighborhood, Eastwood section, there's only been a handful of murders since I moved back home 20 years ago. But two places have had two murders at the same location. I think it is because the imprints there encourage that. Similarly, sacred sites have, over time, they draw pilgrims to pray, meditate, do ceremony, and encourages more of that same phenomena. So when we look at a sacred site, we often find that it's been so for many generations and many, many civilizations. Now, what is going to affect the strength of an imprint is its emotions. If there's like a murder or a violent act or a highly charged emotional act, that is going to have a stronger imprint and have a stronger influence. Similarly, if there was a prayer, meditation, spirit, that is also going to have, it's the intensity of the action, but it is both not only the physical actions, but the intellect, what we were thinking of the same thing. And so that is important. Now, I always look at imprints first because they could either enhance the space or detract from it, so it becomes critical in my work. Imprints are also the base upon which you build. So we can create so many more wonders with Mother Earth. And one of the things, imprints have a vortex-like movement, so I'm always going like this. And I say, show me the vibe, show me the vibe. Because the vibe can enhance or detract, as I just said. Now, this vortex-like movement forms the basis of an energy vortex. An energy vortex has a circular, clockwise movement to it because it's an imprint, and that's the way an imprint moves. And I'm always gauging imprints because they can enhance the space or detract. Similarly, a geospiral that forms in the ground that pulls up water from the bowels of the earth, that has a clockwise motion to it. And it begins with an imprint that over time, you nourish and make the imprint stronger and stronger and stronger. It begins to influence the environment. So imprints are profoundly important. But it doesn't stop there. There are things like connectors that form with imprints. Connectors mean that you can have two places connected simply because you prayed or meditated or did something between the two of them. I call them connectors. I believe Scottish dowser David Cowan, who looks at ley lines, calls them artificial leys. Then we have what I call the invisible human trail, that we leave this imprint record wherever we go. And then there's also what Feng Shui calls sha lines. But imprints are an important concept because it marks the beginning of our relationship with Mother Earth, for the good or for the bad. And so it is a barometer of that relationship, and it's something I constantly look at. It's one of the first measures. When I come to a space, I'm always saying, show me the vibe. Show me the vibe. And if you've ever read any of my books or seen some other videos, it's all about the vibe. The vibe, the vibe, the vibe. And it's the imprints that create the vibe. Thank you for your time and interest. Namaste.